In sales, do you get a lot of, I need to think about it, or you did a really nice job, let me get back to you, and they kind of delay? Typically that has to do with uncertainty in what you're selling, uncertainty in the idea that the outcome is achievable, uncertainty that the prospect can actually execute on what it is that you're going to ask them to do. So I want to show you a behavioral curve and how you can use this to your advantage while you're on the sales call itself to build up not only the belief, but the ability and the motivation of the prospect to want to take action. Now, I can't take credit for this curve. This was created by BJ Fogg, who is a scientific behavioral expert, which I learned about 10, 15 years ago, but it applies to sales just as much today as it did when I first learned it. Now, the way that the curve is set up is that we have motivation here and ability at the bottom. Now, the activation threshold is the likelihood that the person, the prospect, is actually going to take action. So for example, if you ask someone to do something that is easy to do and they have high motivation to do it, well, if we were to just draw across, they would meet here, which means very high likelihood that it would get done. High motivation, easy to do. Brushing your teeth. High motivation, you don't want to have bad breath, and it's pretty easy to do. So you get it done, right? Now, we can also look at inside of the activation curve. Hard to do ability with low motivation. This is basically asking someone to do something near impossible that they have no interest or motivation to do anyways. It'd be like coming up to me and saying, climb Mount Everest. Well, I can tell you the ability is extremely hard to do, and my motivation to do that is about minus 4,000. So it's probably not going to get done. So when we look at the behavioral curve, what we need to understand while we're working with our prospects through the sales process is that we need to stack in our favor lots of easy to-dos that are very easily accomplished that come with medium to high motivation. And this is why we need to start building in comprehension and compliance questions throughout the sales process, because if we can get someone to commit to something that's fairly easy to do because they have high motivation, well, the likelihood of them doing it obviously is very good. And when we can stack up more of these easy to-dos with higher motivations, when we ask them to do the hard thing or make a hard decision, they already have a higher belief that they can accomplish it. So if ability is in the middle, they believe they can accomplish it, and the motivation is high, then the chances of them saying yes or moving forward is much higher. Nothing is ever guaranteed, but what we have to do is we have to stack the probability in our favor that someone is going to say yes. So for example, we go back to comprehension and compliance-based questions. Instead of just saying, well, Mr. Jones, does that make sense? And they're like, yeah, sure, makes sense. And you go, okay, great, and you keep going. None of it made sense to them, or they didn't like it, but they're just being nice to get through the call because you're probably boring them and it's painful to work with you. But if I ask them a question along the lines of, now, Mr. Jones, one of the things that we really want to do when you get into the program, because I know how important, mentorship is to you, is that we want to be able to assign you your own personal coach who will be with you every step of the way, working you through the ins and the outs, the frameworks, know when to go up, know when to go down, so that you never have to stumble over your own feet again. Would that be beneficial to you? And they're going to go, yeah, that'd be beneficial. Well, how so? And you get them to explain how it would be beneficial, and then you say, great, if I were to set you up with a coach, right, ability, easy to do because I'm going to do it for you, would you take advantage of it? His motivation will be high. Easy to do, motivation high. We'll meet here. Oh yeah, of course I take advantage of it. Okay, awesome. Our top students do the same thing. And now we also label them with what our top students are doing. So as we go through the sale, we want to continue to find things that are medium to easy to do on the ability side of things, which are basically just commit to certain actions, taking advantage of a coach, studying for 30, 45, 60 minutes a day, or 2 hours a week, or whatever it comes down to, and make sure that their motivations are staying high by focusing on the outcomes. If you follow the coach's guide, so you want the coach, right? Oh yeah, the motivation is high, easy to do because we're going to do it for you. And if by doing this, you get desired outcome, you win. And so the more that we can tie high motivation, medium to easy ability to do, and we fall anywhere in this section here on the activation threshold, to the right of the activation threshold, the chances of somebody following through something is extremely high. But we have to stack those in our favor. We can't keep the entire sale one-sided and at the very end expect them to make a hard decision. So hopefully you found this intriguing. If there's any questions, drop them in the comments below. I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.